Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiriyet Sharvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shamana Kirtanaha Hridayantasto Bhadrani Vidhunote Surhasatam Nashtaprayasha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. So today we'll be covering Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th Canto, Chapter 16, executing the Payo vrata process of worship. So this is in continuation from the previous chapter, where Bali Maharaj conquers the heavenly planets. And now in this chapter, we will hear how Aditi is lamenting, and she's instructed on how to execute the Payo vrata process of worship. Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th Canto, Chapter 16, first verse. Sheshuka uvacha evam putreshu nashteshu deva mata titistada ritati vishtape daityahe paryatapya dathat anathavat evam putreshu nashteshu deva mata ditistada hitetri vishtape daityahe paryatapya danathavat. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Shri Shukdev Goswami said, evam, in this way, Putreshu, when her sons, Nashteshu, disappearing from their position, Deva Mata, the mother of the demigods, Aditi, Tada, at that time, Hrite, because of being lost, Trivishtape, the kingdom of heaven, Daityahe, by the influence of the demons, Paratapyat, began to lament, Anathavat, as if she had no protector. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Shukdev Goswami said, O king, when Aditi's sons, the demigods, had thus disappeared from heaven and the demons had occupied their places, Aditi began lamenting as if she had no protector. There is no purport. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girib Yat Kripa Tadaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this is a beautiful narration and continuation from the previous chapter, where after the demigods, they left their palaces without putting up any fight against the demons. They left, and now Aditi, she could not see her sons, and she's lamenting. And this is the state where her husband, Prajapati Kashyapa Muni, he returns home and he sees the condition. So there are many lessons in this chapter, and we'll be covering some lessons and some of the Srila Prabhupada's time, past times where he provided so many nice instructions on this subject matter. So one of the aspects that we hear is Deva Mata Ditistada. So Deva Mata, the mother of the demigods. And who is the mother of the demigods? Aditi. And that's why the demigods, they are Adityas. They are also referred to as Adityas. Exactly the next point. Who's the mother of the demons? Now, her reference is also given here. Rite Trivishtape Daityehe. So the demons are also referred to as Daitya. And their mother is Diti. And who's the husband of Diti? Diti is younger sister of Aditi. And her husband is also Kashyapa Muni. So they both have same husband. However, because of the inclination, the demigods are the devotees of the Lord. While the demons, they don't accept Lord as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they say that just by our own prowess, by our own intelligence and strength and capabilities, we will acquire different positions. And as these two half-brother, half-cousins are constantly, in quarrel, it appears, for the power. Daityas are more looking for the power and position, while Adityas, the demigods, they are just seeking to serve the Lordship, and thus they attain power and position. So it is not the direct result of the endeavor, it is a byproduct of the endeavor in the case of Adityas, the demigods, but in the case of Daityas, it is their final goal that they are attaining, they are trying to achieve. Now here, Aditi is referred, means how is she feeling lamentation? Anathvat, as if she had no protector. Anath, one who has no nath. Is not, nath is protector. So Srila Prabhupada, once he was in a morning walk, as he was at the beach, along with all the devotees, his disciples, he pointed with his cane towards a dog who was running with his master very nicely. They were jogging on the beach. And he said, look at that dog. And then he pointed to the street dogs. So this is in Mumbai near Chowpatty area. So Juhu Beach area. So again, and the dogs who were street dogs, they looked weak, they looked bitten, and they looked sick. So he said that's the difference between an anath, because these street dogs, they have no protector, and sanath, the one who has a protector, is like the dog who's with his master very nicely, very confidently and very nicely living. So we always, seek the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we are sanath and not anath. So that's the lesson. If you ask a 2-year-old boy to cross the road, it's a very fearful situation. There are so many cars crossing, right? There are so many cars passing on the road, and they are driving without sometimes heeding to the pedestrians. So at that time, think of a child who's trying to cross alone. Not possible. He'll be fearful and he'll be scared. However, if he's holding his father's finger, just by holding his father's finger, he's confident. Nothing is going to happen to me. And his father is holding his hand and quickly and very efficiently making him cross. Now think of the situation, the second one, where the child has completely taken shelter of his father and is completely carefree from the perspective that there are so many cars passing. Whatever his father is saying, he's just following that. And that is disciplic succession. So we follow disciplic succession as how our spiritual master instructs, and of course, he is getting all that from his spiritual master and so forth, and finally from Krishna. So this way, we as Sanath, can easily cross over this causal ocean. And the simple wave that causes the wind that blows in the direction for us to be able to cross this, unlimited, ever expanding vast ocean of material universe is simply by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Where we are praying for the Lordship to engage us, through Mother Radha, to engage us in His service. And we are always seeking the shelter of our spiritual master in helping us with this process of executing devotional service. So here in this chapter, as she is lamenting, what happens? Aditi, the mother of the demigods, she is lamenting. So when a mother doesn't see her children, of course it's naturally that, the lamentation, the depression and the shock, right, means that arises. So in our world also sometimes when we face failures or we see some situations of depression and so forth, in the material world, people, they resort to different means, right? I know of many situations where I have asked my colleagues, what do they do when they feel such situations? Somebody said, they just turn the TV on and pick up a big, half-gallon bucket of ice cream and they eat ice cream to feel comfortable. They're crying and eating at the same time. It's interesting. It's kind of like, they're trying to forget about it by doing something that would give them some pleasure, they're thinking. And if you pay attention, it's actually going to give them more pain. Some people say that they just get engaged in intoxication. They start drinking. And intoxication is not good. But then they're drinking to forget that pain that they're going through, the depression that they're going through, the feeling of that failure that they're going through. So sometimes when I hear such situations, I say, when you are celebrating, what are you doing? They're like, we open champagne and we drink again, intoxication. So you don't want to remember the good things that are happening around you? So such is this material world, They cannot even distinguish their actions based on when they are happy versus when they are sad. They are more engaged in intoxication. There is also a common saying in India, पीने वालों को पीने का बहाना चाहिए. So people who want to drink, they will find a reason, by hook or crook, to drink. That is the situation. That is the miserable situation in this material world. So as this reminds me of a philosopher, he was, he had gone to a foreign country. And every Friday he would go to a bar. And in that bar, he would ask the bartender to give him 3 pints, 3 glasses of beer. So the bartender, just following the instructions, gave him 3 glasses of beer, charges him, and he goes at the back of the bar, sits down, and he drinks all the 3 glasses. So bartender was observed. Every Friday this gentleman comes, and he asks for 3 pints of beer, and he drinks in the back. So one day, he asked him, once he has understood that this person is regular, and he's regularly doing this as a ritual, why do you do this? You should take 1 glass at a time so you can enjoy it properly, because it loses the effect. When you are drinking one, the other 2 lose the effect. He says, no, actually we are 3 brothers. And we decided that no matter which part of the world we are, we will have 2 extra glasses to celebrate for others. So that's why I take 3. So the bartender understands. So time goes on. And every Friday, this gentleman is coming, asking for 3 pints of beer, and going at the back, and he's drinking those, as if he's celebrating with his brothers. Now, one evening he comes, on a Friday evening, and he asks for 2 pints of beer. So now the bartender, he gives him the 2 pins, and the gentleman take that, pays for it, and goes to the back of the bar, and he is drinking. After he is done, he's about to leave. The bartender calls him. He knows him by name. He says, "Excuse me, I have a question." So the man, he comes, he says, "What's the question?" He says, "Which one died? Normally you used to take 3 glasses. This time you only took 2 glasses. Which one died?" He says, No. I just got introduced to Krishna consciousness, right? And they say, no intoxication, no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex. I just gave up drinking. Looking for Harinam initiation, right? So sometimes we need a spiritual master to guide us. Because we may be completely misguided by our own speculation of how the process works. So this is just to show, sometimes people are celebrating or sometimes people are lamenting, how they are affected by the material energy, how they are misguided to act in a manner which is not right. So in this case, Aditi, she is lamenting because not just that her sons have left their homes, residences, but also they are residing and wandering on different planets incognito, and she doesn't know where they are. And think of a mother who doesn't know where their sons are. She can't see her sons who are in a fearful situation, incognito they are wandering. And she remembers this is what happened when Hiranyakashipu had become the king. Her sons were in the similar state. But then at that time they were actually acting as a servant of Hiranyakashipu, and she could still see them. But now she can't even see her sons. So she is lamenting. And at that time, after a long time, Kashyapa Muni comes out from his trance and he comes back to the ashram of Aditi. And he sees the signs of lamentation and moroseness all around the ashram. So he goes to his wife and he simply asks, he did not go to any of the servants or anyone else. He just directly went to Aditi. And he said, are there the regular, activities, dharma, arth, kam, moksha? Means in the case of a householder, they are looking for dharma, religiosity. Artha is economic development. Kam is regular recreation and enjoyment. And then moksha, the process of liberation. Those are the 4 goals in a grihastha life. So are they going on well? And she basically responds that, yes, all the religious activities have been going on because I'm always thinking of you, so they have been taken care of. All the process of economic development, how to maintain the ashram and all those activities, they are going on. So apparently it seems like she had many other, people working on the ashram and making sure that the ashram is running and being kept very nicely. Then the next question he asks is, all the fire sacrifices are also going on. So next question he asks her is, is there a situation where a guest came or somebody came asking for something and they were not honored properly? She says, no. Because I am constantly meditating on you, I made sure that anyone who came for asking for something or a guest came, they were properly seated, they were properly honored, and they were sumptuously fed prasadam and they were taken care of. Then he says, if everything is right, then what is the cause of your moroseness? And at that time, she reveals her mind. And she reveals, so again, think of, like in material world, people, they look for ice creams and all that stuff to resort when they are feeling down. But here, Aditi, the mother of the demigods, she's carrying out all her duties very nicely. But because she is feeling that lamentation, that depression, it is somehow sensed. So the negative energy, that was being generated by the lamentation is sensed by Kashyapa Muni. And she reveals that because of her competitors, and who are the competitors for her? Diti's sons. My sons, they have been driven out of their residences. And so, I am lamenting because I cannot even see my sons in this case. Well, at that time, Kashyapa Muni tried to give her the knowledge of self-realization. He's telling, because in reality, the way material energy works, there is only one father. Aham bij pradhapita. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I am the seed-giving father of all these living entities who are getting different bodies in material world. But she being mother, doesn't work on her. Right? Mothers are sometimes so moved, they want to see the baby's face. So that's all they want. They don't pay attention to all other knowledge. He tries to tell her, in concept, that these kids that we have are through us and not of us. The kids that we have, as parents, we give birth to, they are through us. We are only the instrument, and not of us. They are not, of us. We do not control them. There is only one supreme controller, one supreme protector. So at that point, when Kashyapa Muni, he sees, now he has this feeling, alas, a mother is so much attached to her children that she cannot continue in her spiritual progress. That's what he's seeing. But as a Vaishnava, he's also very intelligent. Now, when I say Vaishnava, again, this reminds us. Do you know who the worshipable deity of Kashyapa Muni is? Lord Shiva. So it raises a very interesting point that his worshipable deity is Lord Shiva, and how could he be a Vaishnava? So it's very interesting. Shivites, once Srila Prabhupada, he was approached by his disciples, and they were saying that this person that we are trying to preach to is actually Lord Shiva's devotee. So it's very hard to preach to him. And Lord, Srila Prabhupada at that time says, if he understands the position of Lord Shiva, it will benefit him. And then he explains how that is. Srila Prabhupada reveals that if a person who is worshipping Lord Shiva, knowing that Lord Shiva is a devotee of the Lord, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, this is the topmost devotee of Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. So Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, if he understands from that perspective, and that he is worshipping the Lord, means Lord Shiva in this case, that he is the topmost devotee of the Lord, he would benefit. And if he by mistake thinks that Lord Shiva is supreme and not Krishna, then it would not benefit him. It would actually harm him. And Lord Shiva's worshipable deity is Lord Sankarshan. Lord Sankarshan's worshipable deity is Lord Krishna. That's also disciplic succession, right? There are 4 disciplic successions, paramparas, they are coming down. One is Kumar Sampradaya, coming for the Chatur Kumaras, the 4 Kumaras. Another one is Shri Sampradaya, coming from Goddess Lakshmi. Third one is Brahma Sampradaya, coming from Lord Brahma. And the 4th one is Rudra Sampradaya, coming from Lord Shiva. So there is a whole Sampradaya coming from Lord Shiva. So with that mindset, let's understand that Kashyapa Muni is a worshipper of Lord Shiva. He is a devotee of Lord Shiva. And at that time, he reveals to her, like knowing her situation as a mother and how she is lamenting for her son's welfare and that she is not able to see her sons, a process of how to be able to achieve the results that will be satisfying, to get her sons in proper positions, and she would be able to see her sons prospering nicely. Now the process he gives is also very interesting. He gives the process of the worship of Payo vrata, the Payo vrata process of worship, how to execute it. And he starts that this particular process was revealed to him by Lord Brahma himself, right? And to Lord Brahma, this was revealed to Lord Brahma by Lord Krishna. So again, disciplic succession. It's directly coming from Lord Krishna, so it is a bona fide process of worshipping Lord Krishna. And Payo vrata vrat is actually performed during the month of Falguna, early part of the year, the first 12 months of the waxing moon, when the waxing moon is going on, one has to, now the process goes on. So again, as he is telling this process, we also have to connect, like previously how a mother was lamenting. Let's also look from the perspective as mother is lamenting. There are 26 gurus of Avduta Brahman that has been discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. And there is one of the gurus is pigeon. Lord Dattatreya is saying that this material world, causes one to go through a different level of enjoyment. But if one is attached to something or someone, then it causes heavy lamentation like that foolish pigeon. And Srila Prabhupada reveals in his story as, one of the short stories as how the story of pigeon goes on. So once, husband-wife pigeons, they went out to gather food, for themselves and their children. And a hunter came by and he sees these children in a nest. And at that time, this hunter, he lays out a net to catch them. And he spreads some grain. So children seeing the grain, they try to go down to get the grain, but they're caught in the net. So when the parents return, the mother pigeon, she looks at the children and she's like, oh, my children are caught. And she tries to go and save the children. And at that time, she is also caught. And seeing that his family is caught, the father pigeon is like, what is the use of me? My life. And at that time, the hunter kills the father pigeon. In Srila Prabhupada's short story, he has a different lesson. That at that time, the father pigeon should have thought that there is no sense. I cannot give them protection. And if I go to try to save them, then I will also be killed. So it is better that I take sannyas. So Srila Prabhupada gave the solution of what an intelligent pigeon would do. And in Lord Dattatreya's, story of one of his gurus as a foolish pigeon, he is revealing as how, because of attraction to the material energy, one loses the opportunity, for spiritual advancement. So the mother is lamenting, and Kashyapa Muni tells her about this process of worship, the Payo vrata process of worship, where for the first 12 days, one has to subsist only on milk. Not take water, not take any grains, not even any other kind of foodstuffs, only on milk. Can you imagine? So this is the month of Falguna. Shri Shri Gauratai ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshmana Hanuman ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Janant Kore Vaishnavind ki jai. So as one is just subsisting on milk, but then it's of course upvas, right? Vrat is also referred to as upvas, means being close to the Lord. Engage in devotional service. He tells her how to constantly engage as she is just using milk, on devotional service, engage in devotional service of the Supreme Lord. And this process has been told to Lord Brahma, the result is revealed that one can attain whatever they desire, right? Just by following this process of worship. So this is a simple process to satisfy the Lord. And on the 12th day, the Dwadashi, one should, so first 11 days constantly engage in devotional service, even the 12th day. But then on the 12th day, the Dwadashi time, they should, the dirt dug up by a boar, find that mud, and smear it on one's body. And then, we are talking about the month of January, February. So first of all, the mud would be very, very cold. And then goes and, and bathes in the river, freezing river, you can imagine. So the process is so difficult. And she follows the process. And, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased. Yet at the same time, he also says, as he's describing the process, that one worships Lord Shiva as well. There are various verses that are being given. And in the purpose, Srila Prabhupada reveals that in this case, one pays obeisances and worships all the incarnations of the Lord. Ete chams katha pumsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. So, Lord Krishna is the source of all incarnations. And Lord Shiva is his incarnation in the mode of ignorance. So I'm just going to read some of these verses. In the bright fortnight of the month of Falguna, February and March, for 12 days, ending with Dwadashi, one should observe the vow of subsisting only on milk and should worship the lotus-eyed Supreme Personality of Godhead with all devotion. And then, if the dirt dug up by a boar is available on the day of the dark moon, one should smear this dirt on his body. So this is actually not waxing moon, but waning moon time. Bright fortnight to the dark moon time. And then bathe in a flowing river. While bathing, one should chant the following mantra. O Mother Earth, you were raised by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of a boar because of your desiring to have a place to stay. I pray that you kindly vanquish all the reactions of my sinful life. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, greatest of all, who lives in everyone's heart, and in whom everyone lives, O witness of everything, O Vasudev, Supreme and all-pervading person, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the Supreme Person, being very subtle. You are never visible to material eyes. You are the knower of the 24 elements, and you are the inaugurator of the Sankhya Yoga system. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who have through heads Praninya and Udayaninya, 3 legs, Savanatraya, 4 horns, the 4 Vedas, and 7 hands, the 7 chandas such as Gayatri. I offer my obeisances unto you, whose heart and soul are the 3 Vedic rituals, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and Upasana Kanda, and who expand these rituals in the form of sacrifice. So now this process has been revealed to her so that she can fulfill her desire and attain what she is seeking, that her sons return back to their residences and she can see them on a regular basis. So this process has been described. And so she executes and gets the blessing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now in the second canto it is revealed. Now someone can say, wait a minute, normally the purpose of serving Lord Krishna is to go back home, back to Godhead. But in second canto it is revealed, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. Akamaha. So one who has no desire. Now it is very important to understand the context. A living entity by very nature is active and has desires. But in this case, no desire for sense gratification for one's own self. So when one does not have desire for one's own self, but desires to give pleasure to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, then that is referred to as akamaha in this verse. Sarva kamova. And even if somebody has desires to attain all kind of sense gratification, right? Kama. Sarva kamova. To get all kind of sense gratification. Moksha kama udharadhi. So again, now there is a third category, that even if one has desire to attain liberation, to go back home, back to God. Tivrena bhakti yogena, with great enthusiasm, with great energy, with great passion, one has to engage in worshipping Yajate Purusham Param, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead no matter what one's desires, simply. And this is such a difficult process, while Srila Prabhupada gave us such a simple process. Just by raising our hand and chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And in this chapter, as we are hearing, that even in the position of a demigods, even their life is not filled with just all pleasure. They always are in a fearful situation. In this case, they are wandering incognito, unidentified, on different planets, hoping that the demons don't catch them, because then they would try to kill the demigods. While the demons are experiencing, the Daityas in this case, referred to as the sons of deities, who are just looking for their own, based on their own prowess, their own capabilities, their own personal abilities to go back, to attain different positions and ruling the three worlds. So it is this material world that is constantly going on. It reminds us of a situation where one of my friends, he had a bird feeder. But then every day he would find that the squirrels would take away all that, whatever is contained, all the seeds that he had placed in the bird feeder, they will take it all away. So he went to the store, he's told the store manager what the issue is, and he said, don't you have a squirrel-free bird feeder? So the store manager showed him, yes, we have these different models. They're squirrel-free. So he took one of the squirrel-free bird feeder, took at home with a wire provided, very thin wire. If you were to kind of like strike or rub your finger, it will actually cut your finger. So sharp. And he hangs it outside, on the back of his deck, puts some poles, hangs the bird feeder. What does he see? 2 days, nothing happened. No squirrel could approach. Third day, one squirrel he actually sees feeding herself from the bird feeder. He takes that bird feeder, he goes back to the shop and he says, this is not squirrel free. The shopkeeper says, what do you mean? He says, I hanged it. 2 days, the squirrels couldn't go because the wire is so sharp and all. Third day, the squirrels, they were able to approach. They found a way to get to the bird feeder, and I literally saw the squirrel feeding on the seeds. At that time, the shopkeeper, the manager says, how long did it take you to hang this bird feeder? Within an hour. Hanging is not the problem. And then the shopkeeper asked him, and how long did you think the squirrels were trying to find out the solution as to get to the bird feeder? So that's our situation, right? We get engaged in devotional service for small durations while Maya Devi is running 24/7. She has her plan to entrap the living entities constantly going on. So it's very important for us to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So that's how those two important principles come into being. That when she is constantly working to entrap us, and Srila Prabhupada very clearly said that he has declared a war against Maya, against the material energy. So we always have to take shelter of the Lordship, always try to remember Him and never forget Him, and only then we can be freed from Maya. Otherwise, the illusion net of Maya is so strong that very quickly she can catch us. Like in this case, Aditi is lamenting. However, since she is engaged in devotional service, she attains immense pleasure that we'll be covering in the next chapter and so forth. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Kantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anand Kori Vaishnava ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.